Hey everybody, Asher here, and it is Stellaris time. That's right, I want to start off by saying my sincerest thanks to Paradox Development Studio, who were gracious enough to give me a preview code for this game. Now, I do want to start with that caveat. This is a preview build of the game. You see 0.9 down here, so there always are some things that can come up. This is not the release version, and as such, this is going to be more of a let's play where we explore, kind of look through the game together. So if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to see, by all means, I will be watching the comments for this video, although I am going to be recording a few episodes in bulk first, so most of my questions will have to be dealt with by comment, and then I can bring it up in videos later as it comes down to it. But let's go ahead and stop prating on. Let's look at the new game here. Now, there are some pre-made empires if you just want to dive in right away and get started, and there's all different kinds of just ways to build it, but we're going to go and create a new, because as much as fun as it would be the United Nations of Earth and do the Star Trek thing, that's a little boring. Let's go ahead and select here. Now, we do have these various options available, but if we go over to species, there's lots of things we can choose between the mammals, the reptiles, avians, arthropods, mollusks, and fungoid, which you may be familiar with. The blorg here, hello, we obviously cannot be this female blorg, but after looking at everything, and there's some really cool just art and good-looking things here, I am very partial to the mollusks. So we are going to be not necessarily Space Cthulhu, but keep in mind that's a female, so step off, I guess. But we're going to be playing as a mollusk here. So that is going to be the name of our race, and we're just going to keep things simple instead of trying to go for some Cthulian spelling that me or nobody else can actually pronounce, because it is not supposed to be built here. We're going to go very generic here. We're going to just call ourselves the Ashen and Ashen and Ashen. That way they know who we are. I guess this is a point of callback to the Darkest Dungeon, or after the world burns and everything, at the end of Darkest Dungeon, our beast from below are going up to the stars. We can take a look at it that way. Now we have lots of different options for names, for ship prefixes and everything, and these will change based on what you have here. Now there is a robust naming system, but I think I'm going to have to go with mollusks, just to keep it fair, and just so that, oh god, this is going to be hilarious with me trying to pronounce everything. We'll do mollusk 1, and we'll see what best we can do for here. So for actually creating your character, you do get to pick a few different traits. You can pick up to 4 traits. You have 2 trait points. I do appreciate you in the preview videos who corrected me on what was available, and there's a lot of different options. If you want to look up things in the wiki, you can kind of take a look, but it does take kind of the endless approach of, you have things that are positive, things that are negative, things that are super positive, like extremely adaptive +5, or just being regular old adaptive. That changes your habitability score, or non-adaptive. So some of these things are diametrically opposed. You can't take them between one and the other. So what do we actually want to do here? I think we have a few options that could work pretty well. We have, let's see, are we charismatic? Are we repugnant? I think we're actually going to be repugnant, so other species don't like the way we look, because we look like what comes out of their nightmares, and that's not terribly wrong. Venerable could be good too, but I think venerable is kind of a wrong description for the Ashen here, because we may be long living, but our nightmares are eternal, but our corporal bodies don't necessarily mean too much. So we'll call ourselves strong as well. That leaves us with 2 remaining. We could do talented, which could be pretty good. We could do rapid breeders. I think adaptability is a pretty positive one, just to say, because after all, these beasts from below here have definitely the ability to just invade people's minds. That's more of our mind space than anything, which means we do need to, we can pick a 0 trait, or we can pick a negative trait. We don't have to pick 4. Well, we've balanced ourselves out right now. I could go with extra strong and try and take some other negatives here, but I think this is fine. We'll keep 1 pick remaining. So we're adaptive and strong and repugnant. So we can choose our initial leader sex, male or female. Nice that we have leader armor. We'll do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, female leader. Glabon Scrunch. This is going to be great to actually have to pronounce all these. So we have lots of different options. So you can see the little starships going in the background. I think we got to go with the red for that. And what kind of clothes do we want to have? Lots of different options for our leaders here. So this seems to be probably the best in terms of space here. So globunch, that'll work pretty well. So we do have the different homeworld options here. Let's see what we get here. Hythea, or in the star Hytheus, that works out pretty well. I don't want to necessarily take everything here. And what kind of planet? We have different options here. Continental worlds, rocky ocean worlds with a nitrogen and oxygen atmosphere, and a significant hydrosphere covering 90% more. Arctic worlds, these are all things that we are fairly familiar with. Tundra world, arid world, desert world, or tropical world. Now, if you were a mollusk, where would you possibly be coming from more than anything else? I think there's a few different options that work out. I don't think we're going to do a tropical world, though, because technically, mollusks technically are coming from under the water, but I think an Arctic world probably works best if you just consider the fiery core from the inside, the freezing heart from the outside, frigid rocky with nitrogen and oxygen atmosphere. The poles are big and significant water deposits can be found permanently frozen as glacial ice. However, the planet experiences seasonal variations, and an equatorial band is covered by vegetation. So that's not awful. And we can do different starting systems: the Sol system, which is where Earth is; the Deneb system, where the Commonwealth of Man. So that's kind of a pre-start here, but we're going to do completely random. That's fine. And then we have our other options here for our ice mollusks, as it were. I think we got to go with the molluscoid city. That just works pretty well. Kind of the cold hell, as it were. So, what will we call ourselves if we were going to be doing this? Now, this is another thing in terms of government here, and I did talk about it previously in a preview video. These are your pure options: indirect democracy, plutocratic oligarchy, or despotic empire. Those will always be kind of available too. But I think, obviously, our empire is going to be fanatic spiritualists, because they are praising the old gods or whatever, or the new gods, if you're going for the darkest dungeon thing again. But our sciences prove that consciousness begets reality. We regard the patience and the childlike efforts of those who delude themselves. It is the other way around, as they play with their backs of hard matter, or with their blocks of hard matter. So we're fanatic spiritualist. We do get to pick one more. Note that if we pick materialist, we lose our spiritualism here. So we do get nice little windows. And what else will we call ourselves as well? We could be xenophobes. We could be xenophiles. We could be collectivist. And that could work pretty well, at least for us, because we're all serving. We're not doing our petty going against each other. Definitely not pacifist. Probably not materialist. But we must put away childish things, God, spirits, and other. That doesn't work at all. Individualist doesn't work really either. So I think maybe we can do fanatic spiritualist collectivist. Society has long since evolved past the significant rivalries and concerns of individuals. We're numerous but one, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That works so well. And note that we actually have 4 governments available: divine mandate, theocratic oligarchy, plutocratic oligarchy, or despotic empire. I think we have to do divine mandate. I mean, the alternative is we could... You know what? Actually, let's think about this for a second. How would these mollusks go out into space? I think a divine mandate with just one divine ruler is a little boring. So let's do theocratic oligarchy. Election every 40 to 50 years. Less ethics divergence. Leader recruitment costs less. So that's an interesting perk. And the empire name. Now, there's a lot of, like, cool things that you could supposedly do to randomize, but those are not appearing now at this number. So we're just going to go ahead. Once again, preview build, as it were. So we can call this the Ashen Collective. That could work pretty well. And we'll just call ourselves the Ashen, yet again. So we are the people who have destroyed worlds and maybe want to go to some more, but we're not necessarily trying to overtake people with our guns, with our spacefaring. We want to overtake them with their mind. Now, I do like all of these different things that we have available in terms of icons, and we do have a preview build thing here where not all these colors are showing up. That's okay. So round, pointy, pirate, paradox, ornate, human, or domination. I mean, I'm just trying to think of which ones could work fairly well for this. I think I saw something in the ornate that could work pretty well. And I'm sure some of you in the contents are like, ooh, what could this be? We'll go with this. We'll do a primary of purple. We'll do a secondary of, let's go ahead and keep it like this as well. We'll do a secondary of, that's not great, that's not great, that's not great. That looks like poop. And like I said, just purple on purple, so it's literally nothing. We should have white in here somewhere. Well, we'll do black. That's okay. That looks pretty cool. I mean, not everything has to be all super crazy, wiggly, squiggly tentacles and everything. Although we do actually have a little squid animal right here, which is pretty good. And we do have this as well. Does that look better? I think that actually does look better. That looks just a little silly. That looks pretty cool. But I think we'll go with this, just the one. That works. Alright, next. Weapons. Projectile weapons, missile weapons, or energy weapons. Space-to-space missiles with nuclear warheads. Excellent range, but vulnerable to point defense systems. Kinetic weapons, which are somewhat limited in range, but kinetic energy and high rate of fire chew through shields with ease. Or energy weapons, effective against at medium to close range, but largely ignored in the bulk of enemy armor. I think we'll go ahead and do missile weapons. That seems interesting enough. And then different kinds of travel. We do have hyperspace lanes, warp travel, and wormhole. I do think, because this is kind of the... I've done hyperspace travel in plenty of other games before. I've done warp space travel in some games before. Wormhole travel, I kind of want to get under the game a little bit more under my belt first. So we'll go ahead and do the hyperlanes. I haven't seen a lot of the hyperlane stuff in preview videos, whereas I've seen plenty of warp travel and plenty of wormholes. So we'll start there. And then the ship appearance, obviously... I mean, the fungoid ships look awesome. The reptilian ships look a little crazy. The avian ships are nice too. But we're going to have to go with the mollusk ships as well. So, that's our race. Here we are, the Ashen Collective, a theocratic oligarchy who are fanatic spiritualists and collectivists and are repugnant but strong. I am a strong, independent Ashen. You do not need to mess with me. And more importantly, we are adaptive. I think we are ready to save. The Ashen Collective has been saved, and we are done. So we have the different options for this as well. I'm just going to do a medium galaxy, 600 stars. And we could do 4 spiral arms or 2 spiral arms. I think I'll do 2. I kind of want to have neighbors that are a little bit closer to each other. AI empires, and that seems fun. We'll do normal difficulty. FTL method and any, and we're going to play Iron Man off, mainly because while I do try my best to keep things sort of in line with not save scumming or anything, I don't want crashes to necessarily kill my save. So let's go ahead and hit the play button and get started. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. But this is the Ashen Collective. In the eons since the first permanent Ashen communities took shape in their snowfields and ice caves of Hythea, our civilization has spread and prospered. As we progress through the technological ages, there are many religions among our people that contend with each other for followers. Gradually, sometimes peacefully and sometimes less so, the true faith found its way to all corners of our world, and the faithful are united under a single, universal, do we call it a church? Yeah, let's call it a church. Now, after the discovery of the Hyperlane Network, the finest minds of the Ashen Collective have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are literally within our grasp.
Blessings upon you, your holiness.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and shut down the advisor right now, just because he is going to talk quite a bit, although there is plenty of things that I can actually learn from him. But we are going to stay paused here at first and just look at our system briefly. We do have our own planet with its own moon, so that's pretty exciting. So here's Hythea, the Arctic world. It is currently 100% habitable because of our race. It is our home world. And if we look at our surface, we have all kinds of pops. So this is something that I talked about previously. Each of these pops have their own traits. They're repugnant. They are fanatic spiritualist. We can purge or enslave them, but this is snowy terrain, so we're only getting a few things from here. But note that we do have these little triangles for bonuses, adjacency effects. That's from being adjacent to the planetary administration. So this is a decent layout. We actually have a power plant that's giving us a lot of energy. We have some snowfields that are giving us some stuff, but we also have some other issues. We have sprawling slums. This region is covered by vast shanty towns and slums filled with poor and outcast. It contributes nothing to society. These are tiles that we need to unlock or unblock here. We have industrial wastelands. This region is covered by ruined industrial complexes and toxic soil, detritus from a past age of progress. So that's most of what we have here between slums and wasteland. But we do have half of our world, which is not terrible. So there is that part. Let's see, we have a few other ships available. We have a construction ship that's not going to be able to do too much just yet. We do have our spaceport where we can build some things. We start off with some energy, 200 minerals, 100 influence, which we're not exactly going to need just yet. Our first order of business, though, is to take our science ship and go ahead and explore our, survey our system. So if we do that, boop, boop, everything's going to get queued up, and that's going to take some time. So Riblog, who has 20 plus, wow, he's a roamer, plus 25% survey speed. This leader was born to roam the stars. That is a fantastic, fantastic upgrade here. So we're at 3 naval capacity of 12. We have 1 of 5 planets under our control. We have no strategic resources to speak of right now, but we can go ahead and unpause and just let him explore our moon here. So this is a toxic world, a rocky planet with a thick atmosphere that is lethal to all known higher forms of life. Very fascinating. And you can see our little survey beam right here as we freeform our camera. And this has no resources, so it literally does nothing. There's the star Hythus, an F-type star, fairly large and often referred to as yellow-white dwarves. Though they often emit significant amounts of UV radiation, their wide habitable zones have a good chance of supporting life-bearing worlds. So pretty good. Here goes Ryblog again. Surveying so fast. This is a frozen world. And what do we have? Just the frozen ice flow here. No resources, no habitability. Now we do have a construction ship as well. Right now this construction ship can build a mining station, a research station, anything else, observation post. And one thing I should do while this is going on is go and set up my research. Whoops. Alright, we have 3 researchers here. Glorim, Pasblak, and Saglor. This is going to be hilarious to pronounce all these. That's okay, and they each have their own traits. Maniacal, so +5 research speed. And these traits actually do influence what research gets up there as well. But look at that, actual increase in research speed. So we're going to be doing good on physics research. Pavlok, or Pavloks, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Resilient, leader lifespan +25 years, and then Saglor, Voidcraft. This leader, following years of study, is considered an expert in the field of Voidcraft. So that may be good for him to be in engineering, but we get to pick any of ours. Our society research, we have 3 types of research. That should be familiar with other games. Our engineering research, first physics, administrative AI, interesting. Physics Lab 1, which fortunately you can mouse over this and see. Physics labs will generate 2 science and then 1 of each of those. Or energy storage capacity from a fusion reactor. Those are both pretty good. We won't necessarily get all of these back right away. Let's see here. What's our cap right now? We're not going to be anywhere near a cap for a while. I think increased research speed is going to be best. We don't have to worry about our AI overlords. Society here. Now we do have centralized command, which is the military academy. Let's see. It provides army damage and build speed. Pretty good. Leader lifespan and food +10 for genome mapping. That's pretty useful. Or the colony ship for the capacity overload. I think at least this way, if we do the colony ship first, it's going to take a little longer, but if we see a world we want to colonize, we can go ahead and get it. Note that's going to take 36 months. But this beginning of the game is going to be a little slow in terms of time and what we're able to accomplish because we don't have that much stuff. So, technology research, engineering, defense platform, engineering facility number 1, which produces 2 little gears, which is engineering research, or the ion thrusters. These thrusters use beams of ions to generate thrust without need for propellant. So this is a small part that we can add to our ships to actually design them. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go through our F buttons as well. F6 is technology research here, but I'm not hitting F6, I'm hitting actual 6. So there's the situation log, which I got with F6. Interesting. Oh, that's F5. All right. F4, our ship designer, which I did just do a preview about. We're not going to worry as much about these right now. Right now, these all work. I just kind of wanted to show off the different things that we have. Right now, we have chemical thrusters, which do cost a bit and do increase chance to evade. Radar system, a regular old hyperdrive, and a small fission reactor. And then here is our little pew-pew station. Medium nuclear missiles, small fission reactors. And we do have a combat computer as well. So there's our science vessel, which does have a science lab. All pretty good. So let's go ahead and let our science ship do its thing again. We are now tracking it, which is so cool. I don't normally record at 60 FPS, but I thought that this game looks so much better on video for you all if I did do it this time, so hopefully that's not going to create too much of an issue here. We have a lot of toxic moons. What happened to this place? Was somebody here previously? Now, the way this whole generation of planets and stuff works is that we are not going to have a system that has a second habitable world. But we do have our scientists doing really, really good survey work. So that's very nice. But still, no habitability, no resources to speak of, and we do have some minerals available. Maybe I could go ahead and just build a research station. Used to collect physics, society, and engineering research from uninhabited planets, stars, and asteroids. And we don't have anywhere that we can build that yet. No resources that can be collected by the research station. Alright, so it's going to be the same way with the mining station as well, I believe. And I'm pretty sure observation posts, we don't got to worry about that right now. So we'll close the construction ship for now. That will come in time. So we do have our little military power fleet as well. It may be behoove me, you know, if we go ahead and go to the spaceport. We go ahead and go to the spaceport. I mean, we do have a few minerals available. It might be a good idea to go ahead and build a second science ship. That way we'll at least be able to explore the other stars a little faster. So we do have our planetary survey. We don't have any edicts yet. We don't have a lot of edicts either. Re-education campaigns, which decreases ethics divergence, migration attraction. We're not really concerned about that. Infrastructure projects, which is pretty good, and we don't have the influence for it. And spiritual unity. Anything we want to do on the surface yet. We have another pop who's forming. It will not produce any output before it's fully grown. Right now, our planet is producing 6 food. We eat 6 food, we produce 13. So it's getting pretty good resource output for all of this. That's what all these icons mean. So science, society research, a little bit more engineering research, actually. So is there anything else we want to build? Right now, this is a good tile. No vegetation, yet it gives 2 food. Anything we want to put here? So we can put a basic science lab on that. I think we're going to need some more food, though. So let's go ahead and put a hydroponics farm there. Said I don't want to build too much. Constructing this will suppress the collection of resources. Well, there's nothing there right now, so I think we do maybe want the minerals right now. Let's put the hydroponics farm up here. I'll save that one. That's how it gives 3 stats and actually does something. That's one that I can at least hold on to for now. So what other kind of tiles do we have here? We have construction available, but Arctic terrain, just regular old Arctic terrain. We're all very excited with our little warring flat world. All right, so normal speed. We can increase the speed a little bit, but I don't want to go too fast. Not this early. So we have some asteroids that we can survey as well. So what have we learned from this planet? No resources, no habitability. Gabog. All these places are named even though we haven't actually explored them yet. Which I think is a nice touch to the fact that we have been looking at the stars for a while. So no resources yet. The spaceport is finished construction in the queue. Alright. So we don't have a lot of resources yet. But if we do look at our second side, we do have one of our side ships here. And any other leaders right now? Probably not. We don't want to send too many people out there. But we can go ahead and actually explore with this ship from the look of it. Do we have a leader available? We have people researching. We have 1 scientist. Can we recruit an additional scientist? We have a few available. It doesn't cost too much here. So what do we got? We have age 47, Glowrim, who is carefree, anomaly research speed plus 35%. Pablock, who has better lifespan, and then Voidcraft. You know what? Let's do Glowrim. All right. Wait a minute. All right. He's up here. All right. So you're in orbit. Let's take a look outside for a second. And I'm going to have to figure out exactly how we want to do this. So search. We can zoom out just a little bit more. We can go to the galaxy map this way. And here we are. Here's our galactic neighborhood. And if we zoom all the way out, we can see that our 2 spiral arms. This is pretty interesting with the hyperlane network. It's just literally a web of stars. That is so cool. So here we are, our little insignificant selves. We have an unknown zone, an unknown zone. We have another place that's within our scanning range. Intel level low. So we have a few stars here. You know what? Let's go ahead and survey this system. So we have our first hyper jump. Let's actually watch it happen. Alright, so second the second science ship. We're not already out there, I don't think. Oh, we are. We actually missed the hyper jump. It was that fast. Alright, so what do we got here? We have other planets, other resources available. This is a gas giant. But it's nice that we actually just hopped over here that fast. I guess the key question is, what kind of choke points do we have available? We have Waskar, the most common type of stars in the universe, also called a Class M star, a red dwarf. Their low luminosity means they're difficult to observe with the naked eye from afar, but they are everywhere. Alright, so you're both still going to be researching quite a bit. If we can just go ahead and zoom back to you. Do you have anything else that we can build? It looks like we do have a few resources now available. So let's hear. A leader's gained a level. Alright, so that is Ryblog. Hello, Ryblog. Let's go ahead and get our construction ship available because we have resources that we can start to gather. We zoom in down here. And we'll do it this way a little bit. Let's look here. We have minerals from Sigwal, this frozen moon, and then we have Guthor, which will give us 2 engineering research. Alright, well I think I know what we're going to start with. We need to build a mining station right here. And then can we queue up a research station as well? Well, we'll get to that later.
Anomaly found.
Oh good, anomaly. Let's see. It's a level 1 anomaly with a failure risk of 0. Skill 2 stars. During the survey of our home system, we found something on Bacagni that did not match earlier observations and made from our homeworld. Interesting. Well, we will definitely get to that momentarily. Let's go ahead and order you to research it.
Construction complete.
So we finished the construction queue here as well. Alright, so Hythia has finished constructing its thing on the home planet. And let's go ahead and let's see, what do we have at this anomaly? So this is just an observation, something that's a little bit different. And UGOB class, the Ryblog, our good mollusk, person wanted to go from afar. So, oh, what do you know? We have encountered some strange form of alien vessel in the Hytha system. These strange objects have been flagged as alpha aliens. Until we can learn more about them, we should use caution. So, very interesting. It did not take long for the Ashen Collective to come across intelligent alien life. The fleet's report of the Ashen capital somewhat understates just how alien these forces appear, and only in passing mentions the failure to open comms. Ooh, interesting. So if we look at our empire, we do have our governor that's busy governing. And we do have our 1 contact here. So, actually we have no contact. So what we need to do is go to the situation log. So we can go ahead and finish here. Alright, so Whiskar system's been fully surveyed. We can finish this in 180 days. This does take society research for the alpha aliens. It takes 6 months. Let's go ahead and do this now. This will, it's important that we go ahead and get this available. And I do want to see what that anomaly is, but I do want to go to this ship first. So where do we encounter the other aliens? And do we have anything very interesting here? No resources, no resources, no resources, no resources. So literally nothing. So system has been fully surveyed. And we have an anomaly as well. So we'll go ahead and send you over here. Let's see how fast this goes. Oh, secrets at the doorstep. So the anomaly we detected on Bukagni unveils something astonishing. The moon is surrounded by a trail undoubtedly produced by FTL engines. We're unable to trace its origin due to it being generations long ago. We should continue to investigate these sorts of anomalies whenever we get a chance. It will most assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. We've been watched, but why? Interesting. So there's the hyperlane speed. It is fast. What do we got in this system? We got a whole other set of surveys here. Do we have any planets that might work out for us pretty well? I don't know. We do have a habitable Arctic world. So that is possible. We have an ocean world. So this is one of the first places where we may be able to go to. We have a tropical world as well. Wow, this is quite a bit of different stuff, but we do have potentially our first place that we can go to, which means if we look at our research tab, we are currently doing the special project right now, which I do want to go ahead and get in contact with. We do need to establish a foothold in space just a little bit, so we have a few months before we get to that. Stop working and resume normal research. We'll see the aliens here in just a little bit. Yeah, we have our system just about surveyed. I think we got just a few left. But I'm going to go ahead and call this a video. Video number 1. This is Asher. I am so excited to be able to have the opportunity to bring Stellaris to you all early in this release. And we're going to be continuing right where we left off here next time. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to continue to explore the stars, see if the hyperlane network can work out, and see if the aliens do or do not want to kill us. So we have a mining station as well, and we have an idle ship. This seems just as fine of in any place. So once again, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more Stellaris content. There's going to be a lot that I'm pushing up in this preview build, but once again, remember, it's a preview. Not everything's going to be 100%, but still there is a lot to explore, a lot to enjoy. Thanks for watching, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you all again next time. Take care.